People of the fountain.
As an Ekiti person, I'm very concerned with the current situation in Nigeria, Yoruba land, and most especially Ekiti State, and it called for a sober reflection. Yes, we are here today to talk about political stability in Ekiti, but a faction does not make a whole.
My name is Segun Ajibulu. I'm from Ekpao, Ekiti North Local Government. And I was born in 1957. My father was a pastor, a Baptist pastor. And my mom, a trader. And a later day politician. She became a politician when after my father retired from as a pastor and moved down home. My mom is she's very well known in Ekiti North. And that was during the Better Life for Rural Women. She was the chairman. When I was growing up, we are only, by that I only have 5 children. And there was no time when you have nothing less than 16 people living in my dad's house. Because during that time, my dad we used to have Ondo Promise. And we have Baptist Church as a place is the one that is responsible for hiring teachers to some of the Baptist primary schools and Baptist modern schools in Koko area. During that time, my dad is the one that will bring the doctors. You will see the teachers, you will see the church people lining up to come and get themselves treated for blood pressure and everything. I think they do that once every fortnight. And as I've said, when I was growing up, you never know everybody because there are some places you know about this religion issue. Some family want their children to attend the Baptist school. They will send their children to my dad's house. And that's why you have so many people where, sometimes you will think that, this is just like another church. When we are praying in the morning, it's even louder than when we're in church.
Are you from Ekiti State? Are you Yoruba from southwest Nigeria? Are you a Nigerian? If you are an African, this program is for you.
I left home very early because I have an uncle who just keep on saying they want me to be with him. So during the war time where I was in Abeokuta, I did my primary school, part of my primary school in Abeokuta, finished up in Elisha. From there on, I went to Ekiti Baptist High School. We used to have a principal, very popular principal. We call him, the man is from Aramoko, we call him Oyewole, very popular. And my dad being being an integral part of him, I would say, because he's like someone that oversees what my dad is doing. So I was really close to the principal. Of sudden, the government took over the schools. Then I became an orphan. But our principal was transferred to another school. They brought in another principal. Because that time all the principals were changed.
Ajibulu had to finish his secondary education at the Doherty Memorial Grammar School, Ijero, Ekiti.
People of the fountain.
After secondary school, or even before secondary school, what did you put your heart at as a profession that you would have wanted to pursue?
One day I was just asking myself that question. But that time, all what I was thinking, I want to be the president of this country. I want to be the head of state. I want to rule this country. This, what I'm talking to you, led to a confrontation between me and my principal. Because my principal studied in Britain. And when he came, he was flamboyant principal, lived in Europe for a long time, and he wanted to turn us to be like an European. That's my first confrontation with my principal.
Character of Ekiti.
I said, no, we are Ekiti here. I worked briefly at Nigerian television at Lagos. I was there when it was NBC TV. So I was there when they divided into 2. Then I moved to the Nigerian television. From there, I traveled abroad in 1978.
People of the fountain.
I've been agitator since with my days in secondary school. I never planned one day I'm going to travel out of the country. All what I used to do was, okay, I'm going to finish, get admission to University of Ibadan, or this thing. When you talk about overseas, I say, forget it. I don't want to go there. What really triggered my thinking of, because one time when they talk about this jam, I sat one time, I couldn't get anything. Second time, I said no. And the first time I tried to say, okay, let me see if I can get an admission to one of the overseas schools. Immediately I applied. I got admission, I got everything. Even they said it's going to be free.
Outside?
Outside. I told my dad, I said, my dad, I'm just going for maximum 4 years. That was in 78.
People of the fountain.
My story over there is a story that I told when I got to Austria. It's a story that I tell people in the church. I tell the youth in the church. Because my story is like a miracle.
This program intends to bear the torch of the Ekiti integrity, showcasing the Ekiti origin, religion, culture, and political struggles from the past to the present. People of the fountain.
I have a friend. We went to secondary school together. He was in that time. He was in, he was a student in Austria, and I don't even call him that I was coming. I just packed my thing. On getting there, I called him. I said, "I'm here," not knowing that overseas is not like Nigeria here. This guy lives in an hostel where you are not allowed to have a visitor. And this means I was living, before I left Nigeria, I only left with about $200 in my pocket. During that time when I purchased my dollar, I purchased we were allowed to travel with $500, 500 naira. That's what the government allows you to travel with when you live in the country. My 500 naira fetched me $880. There was a guy who said, oh, he's going to help me do this, he's going to help me do that. The guy duped me with all my traveler check. I can't even go home to go and see anything. So I have to go to black market. I went to black market and purchase dollar. Already signed on a traveler check. That time you can't buy dollar the way you buy dollars here. It's traveler check. I purchased the traveler check already signed, both areas. Whereas you're supposed to countersign in the presence of the teller where you're catching it in the overseas country. So when I got there, I don't have any money. The only little money I have on me was the little money that I have not sold from the $880. I don't have anything to do. So my friend took me in. Someone took me to the president of Nigerian Youth Union. He said, okay, the only thing I can do for you, I will collect this money and deposit it in my account. When they will take it and verify it wasn't the stolen one, after some time they will be refunded to him. That may take about a month or a month plus. And I don't know what to do. My friend said, okay, the only thing you can do is go so good for you. You came during the holidays. My roommate is out of the country. You can manage here, but you can't come in during the day. You can only come in during the night. So in the night, I will sneak into the room. In the morning, I have to get up before they know that you have somebody in the. That's what I did for about a month plus. And after that, he arranged for me to go and stay with a friend who has a room by himself in an hostel. I was staying with him, but during that time again, when you are in trouble, that's the time you know God more.
People of the fountain.
When I got there, the first thing I did was to find out where I can find a Baptist church. Yeah, my father's church. And Austria being a Catholic country, 90% of the people there, they're Catholics. So it's difficult to find the Baptist church. So when I went to there's a place we call African and Asia Institute. That's where we sit down and read and do everything. And as soon as I get there, I went to the father there. I said, I'm a Baptist. I lead a. Can you give me the address where I can find a church? The man said, okay, give me 4 addresses. Not knowing that there's one even few kilometers from where I live. But when I saw the address, I saw English fed gases. I also speak German language. I said, these people will be speaking English on this street. I said, okay, this is the church I will go to. That's about 2 hours on the train from where I live. When I got to this church, believe me, I was the first black man that ever entered that church.
This program is for you.
Immediately they embraced me. The person, no, they take black. Any black is just somebody that is in need. That's why they say you. They thought this is somebody from the bush. So every Sunday they fought on me to take me for lunch. It was when I was there I met this family, very good family, and this guy that I saw there, the parents are Catholic, but he's a Christian. He's a Baptist. He's the one that will sit down. He will sit down beside me in the church. When the pastor is preaching, he will be translating in English, so I could hear what they were saying in the church. So after some time, he said, "My parents too want to meet you at home." And remember, in between, I don't even have a place to live. I don't have anywhere. So when I went to lunch with the parents, with the family, we talk. Then the second Sunday, the parents said they want to see me again. The guy said he doesn't know how to do it because people are lining up in the church to take me home every Sunday. And I said, okay. That Sunday we went to his parents again. And the parents said, if I don't mind, didn't know that I'm going to, that time I was learning the German language at the university. They said, if you don't mind, you say you're learning German language, you are here, when you live here, you go and stay with your friend, you'll be speaking in your language. You'll be speaking in English. Why don't you come and stay with us here? When you stay with us, at least we will be talking to you. You will be speaking with us every day. Talk to your friend if we will allow you to come. I want to pretend as if I have a friend that I live in a place that is really good. I said, okay, hold on. I went to my friend. I spoke in my language. I said, "Ki hallelujah beji." He said, "Why are you talking?" I said, "But come on, ki hallelujah beji." He said, "What?" I said, "Say hallelujah for me, please."
People of the fountain.
That night, believe me, between man and God, I slept on the stairway. That very day, because the friend I was staying with said he was told that I can no longer stay there, and I don't want to call my friend. So I have to go to this place where we call Asia, the place we used to go and study. It's called African and Asian Institute. So I stayed till when everybody, the place is closed by 10 o'clock. I hide in the bathroom. After that time, as soon as everybody left, I just went to the stairway. When I hear people coming from this side of the stairway, I will run to the other side of the stairway. That's how I did, and went to the church that day. So when we got so made it, that was the very day these people asked me. So after I talked to my friend, I dropped the phone. I said, my friend said it doesn't mind if that I can come and stay with you. Oh, they said that's very good. Then they said, when do you want to move? I said, when I get home, I will call you and let you know when you can come and move me. On my way before I get home, I told my friend to please call them. I tell them you allow Segun to come and stay with them. They thought maybe I have a lot of things. They brought a big lorry. All what I have in my hand was just one briefcase where I just have my the coat I brought from Nigeria at Balogun and my 2 or 3 shoes and some other things. That's all what I have. So they brought a big boss to come and carry my stuff. When they come, they said, okay, put in your stuff. I put in. They said, what's rest? I said, that's I said, that's it.
The touch of the Ekiti integrity.
Immediately, I moved into this family house. The first thing they did is, they said, no, you can't be going to this university. This is general. We're going to put you in a private school. They took me from the university, put me in a private school where they study language. And believe me, that was how I got my scholarship to study throughout the time I was there. I got scholarship from the African and Asian Institute. I got scholarship for one of the best students when I was in school there, and that's how I studied. Austria itself, education is free. You don't pay to go to school. But I got a scholarship to pay for my other needs, to pay for my house, to buy clothes, to buy my books, the books that I need for that were not given to me in school. So all the time I have more than enough money for me. I got this money, they gave me this, the Austrian Institute will give me money at the end of the month, school will give me money at the end of the month. Even the time when they said they were giving bursary in Nigeria, I applied for bursary in Nigeria. It was promise over promise. And when you get to Akure that time, my name is number 1 on the list of people that the bursary was approved for. But up to today, nothing get to my hand.
I ask you today, don't we think it will be much better and much more respectful if we can function at home just as we can function here in diaspora, in sufficient quality and quantity for whatever we are looking for abroad? I say so because I know what we are encountering daily here abroad, and also know what prejudice and discrimination means, as I've encountered it myself, and I'm sure most of us have done.
You know, when I finish, everybody said they will be, you know, when they go to the American embassy, their problem, immediately I go to the American embassy to get a visa, immediately they give me a visa. That's how I cross over to America to go and finish my study.
This is it.
There's a part of the story in Austria which I left behind. I got an admission to go and study mineralogy. And when I got there, the school where I was supposed to attend is not in Vienna per se. It's in another town. So when I finished my language course, I was to go now to that town to go and study my mineralogy. When I got there, number 1, in the whole town, I was the only black person. The closest person to me then was an Egyptian. The Egyptian will come to me and talk to me, but I almost run crazy. You can't speak, nobody to speak English to. I don't even talk less of, you don't talk something in Yoruba. So after some time, I said, no, I called my friend, I said, there's no way I can handle this. A guy came to me. He said, do you, when you wake up in the morning, when you bath, do you grease yourself with chocolate? Is that why you are so black? You know, so something like that. And that doesn't even, I laugh at it. But the mental torture about being the loner here. So that's how I crossed over back to Vienna and started, where I did the textile technology. I have an MBA in business and public administration from the US.
Ekiti Evolutionary Journey, with its twists and turns, is the subject of a 30-minute weekly television documentary on this channel.
Imagine the contribution which we are making into the academics in this country and outside Nigeria. What has been the loss of Ekiti land?
Ekiti should be one of the richest states.
People of the fountain, building bridges of understanding.
My first job in the US was with defense mapping. I worked with the Department of Defense. From there, because of the political activities in Nigeria, I have to leave that job, come home to come and fight Abacha at home, then go back again. Now when after I discover Abacha is not as easy as the way I thought we were going to get rid of him, because I was thinking that time Abacha will go within a very short period. So went back again and started working with the government in New York. I've been on my own now, have my own business over there for the past almost 12 years. I've been on my own, have my own accounting business. And to the grace of God, I have one of the biggest tax accounting office in Raleigh, North Carolina right now.
If you are an African, this program is for you.
This is my theory. If you work in a company, if on the payday you can't take people for lunch for free, take them for free, think twice about that job. If before the payday you started borrowing money, look for another job. That's my theory. When I was working with the state, I discovered that the money I'm making, if I'm an American, yeah, that would be good enough for me. But I have to Western Union down to Nigeria. I have to send money to my parents and my mom. I have to take care of my children. I have to do this, I have to do that. I was working 2 jobs. When I finished the day job, I have to go and work in the night again as a security guy. I was making good money among the African there. They were looking at me very high. But I know that's not where I want to be. The first thing I said, okay, I want to go and study. They call it that time NC Network System Engineering. I started in New York. By the time I moved to North Carolina. When I got to North Carolina, they say, oh, NC is not giving more money again. It's Microsoft System Engineering. I said, okay, I started Microsoft System Engineering. Believe me, I just finished paying the loan about a year ago. I went to bank, I borrowed $15,000 to start the program. But where God said you're going to be, where God, if you know, as I always say, when you say God do not pass me by, it's not something, it means it's not a song that you just sit down. You will be trying everything and eventually you're going to hit it. The school has about, in US, it has about 23 locations. One weekend, the whole 23 locations were closed down. The guy moved, they say moved to Canada. And I already borrowed $15,000 from the bank. But so good. When I was going to that school, not that I left my job. I go to school in the evening and weekend, I still have my job. So that's why I came back to my job. I said, okay, what next again now? Then I said, okay, let me go for this accounting job to do tax. No, because I just look at it. In America, unlike here, tax is something everybody you have to report your income every year, no matter who you are. And that's one thing that you cannot say, okay, I want to invade it. It's just like petrol in the car, without the petrol. So you have to do it. Everybody have to report. So I said, this is an area that at least something will start coming. And I studied it, and by the grace of God, before I know it, the day I was leaving my job, I told my supervisor, I said, soon I will be, I will be paying your salary. That very year, the money I make is enough for me to pay my supervisor 3 times.
This program intends to bear the torch of the Ekiti integrity.
If you work in a company, if on the payday, you can't take people for lunch, for free, take them for free, think twice about that job. If before the payday, you started borrowing money, look for another job.
People of the fountain.
The progressive at home and abroad need to brainstorm and come together so we can take Nigerian politics to a higher ground. It is high to expect any kind of progress devoid of concerted and deep-seated effort. We all just have to come together and participate in this. Nothing grows without effort. The if I don't do it, someone else will do it attitude has to change. Nobody will tender our yoke for us. We cannot get something for nothing. We need to work for a common goal, which is to improve the politics of our nation and the lot of our people.
People of the fountain. People of the fountain.